Right, I am packed and I'm ready to go.
What for?
You said we were going to be exploring culture. I think we should start with Japan.
So why are you pointing at gold? Look, you've got the wrong idea, all right? Culture is everywhere. You don't have to travel for it. It's right here on your own doorstep.
Really? The only thing on my doorstep is dogs.
Shh! Go get ready. Ugh, roll titles. Hello, welcome to the Culture Cafe.
Where we explore art and culture in Hull and beyond.
So we're trying to educate Carrie on what culture is, but we're getting there, surely. And we're going to talk to our guests now and ask them what they think about culture. Are you into it, guys? Up on culture?
Yeah, culture's like eating and breathing, really, isn't it? You've got to, you can't avoid it. Like I say, it's everywhere.
Right.
And the more of it, the better.
Great.
It's all the things I'm a fan of. Makes my life happy. Music, art, food.
Ooh.
All of that.
Yeah. How about
I like
you?
that.
Food, culture.
Is that good for you, Carrie?
Well, I like
You
the one
agree?
he's just listed. It's all what I'm about.
Food. You're definitely a fan of food, aren't you?
That's why
know
we're in a
it.
cafe.
That's why we're in a cafe. So, just a little visual aid then, maybe that'll help Carrie out.
Oh yeah, I always work best from visuals.
Okay then. So let's take a look. We've got a little video for you now. What is culture? Let's take a look at that.
Lots of people are asking what is going to happen next year. What will the opening ceremony look like? Who will win the Turner Prize? Will the roadworks be finished in time? But the question I want to ask is, what is culture? If Hull deserves to be the city of culture, maybe the best person to ask is the people of Hull.
What is culture? Diversity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Different races of people,
Okay. Yeah.
mingling with everyone.
Yeah.
Well, culture is anything. Culture is like people talking to each other, people hanging out with each other. I don't believe in this idea of high culture, never have done. So it's about people exchanging ideas and people growing.
Music, art,
Yeah.
cooking.
Art and culture seem to go together in some way. Let's ask some artists and see what they have to say for themselves.
Culture. Well, we are full of culture in Hull with all the wonderful buildings and everything, because I'm in the East Yorkshire History and Georgian Society, and I love places like this because it gives everybody a chance to see what's going on.
People obviously have different takes on it, but it kind of depends on kind of which angle you look at it from. To me, it's all about sort of like embracing your heritage of the areas in various art forms of whichever way you kind of perceive it, whether it be painting or photography or, you know, writing songs, etc., things like that.
Some of it is art, you know, visual arts, and some of it is the way that people live as well. So I suppose it's a mixture of life and what people produce.
Perhaps there's a reason why artists prefer to draw pictures rather than write essays. Maybe I should ask an expert. So I've come to one of the city's finest seats of learning and a partner of City of Culture, Hull University. Do you think art and culture are the same?
Me? Not completely. Not completely. There's some consideration that we're moving away from the elite arty side of culture towards a more popular culture, which is more of a commodity. So culture's become a commodity rather than something special and elite.
Yeah.
So, for example, the mass production of music and downloading of music, that can be seen as commodification of culture. What do I think culture is? Well, there's basically two explanations for culture. You're sitting in a place that shows you what we think high culture is, which is kind of elite culture. But one of the other things that culture is, people very often equate it with society. So it's a way of living and acting and making sense of the world around you.
Right.
Yeah, so everything we do is culture.
Right. Culture isn't things, it's what you do. It isn't even what you do, it's the way you do it. So let's do it.
So some varied opinions there about what culture is, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. And with what Taryn said, it's what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
So, Alan, what do you do and how do you do it?
Gosh. Well, I'm the Chief Executive of the Creative and Cultural Company, and that's a social enterprise. So we have galleries in Princess Quay, we do exhibitions.
Oh, we've been, yeah.
We have.
And we do a festival, Hull International Photography Festival. And so that's what we do. We have exhibitions and festivals and places people can go to and studios they can use and all of that. And how we do it, we do it with love and enjoyment and a respect for what people bring to it. And we just enjoy what comes to it as fans of all of that life that happens in it. And then I do BBC Introducing as well, which means I listen to loads of music, all made round here. And I just enjoy that. And what I enjoy, I share with other people. You know, like somebody who won't shut up at a house party and keeps putting their own tunes on. It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we've got a little video that we went out and we helped ourselves to our surroundings and the culture around us in Hull. And we went out into the wide, into the open, and we had a look what culture is around us, where we live. Ooh, thank you very much, Sophie. Right, envelope number 1. You ready, Carrie?
I am ready. Kez, get it reading.
You are standing outside one of Hull's most famous landmarks, the Deep. Yes, we are.
We are.
But you are not here to look at the fish. No. You are here to catch a train to your ultimate destination.
A train?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome aboard HQ1.
Choo-choo! Choo-choo! Okay, Carrie. Thank you, Sophie. Envelope number 2. Give it a read.
Hull began its city story over 700 years ago.
Wow.
We have arranged for Paul Schofield, a local historian and tour guide, to give you a guided tour of the oldest part of the city.
Excellent, that is so good.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, Paul. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
I'm Kez, and this
Kez.
is Carrie.
Hi,
Carrie.
nice to meet you.
How are you, Kez? How are you, Carrie? Shall
Hi.
we go a bit further up High Street and start off properly up the street?
Definitely,
and,
that sounds like
do
a good
proper
plan.
introduction there.
Yeah.
So this is where the great man William was born in 1759. As the MP for Hull, he was the Member of Parliament who helped pass the abolition of the slave trade bill through.
It's good fun.
It belongs to a merchant called George Crowe.
What are the chances, Paul, that I could be Viking?
This chap here, this is the first Mayor of Hull. He was a merchant on the river in the 1300s. He became spectacularly rich. He lent money to the King, Edward III. It's a proper Georgian street from the 1770s, but it's built on a curve. That's what sets it apart. It's got the archway, and you've got a view of Holy Trinity in the background, yeah. And these are mainly still 3-storey townhouses. Yes, we're in the square. I've been saying it's all getting redeveloped as we speak, but you've got about 700 years of history just around the buildings here. You've got the royal coat of arms, the lion and the unicorn. The smallest window in the country.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! There it is. And it's part of another really nice pub. We have a lot of them, don't we?
We do.
And this is the George. Right, so that brings us to the end of the tour. And I think we've done a lot of walking, haven't we? So do you think we should retire for a pint in the pub itself?
I think we should. Let's see what Sophie's got for us. Okay, pubs are one of the oldest establishments of any city. We think you should round off your journey through history with a drink, I agree, in this record-breaking hostelry. End.
historical culture is definitely very rich. But Alec, is there any people or events in our culture that has inspired you or your work?
Well, I suppose in particular, I was drawn to the people of Hessle Road. I mean, I'd hitchhiked abroad in the 1960s. I used to be in office work. I'd get fed up with that, save up my money and go and hitchhike abroad.
Wow.
To Malta and Israel and, you know, all that. But then I suddenly realised, why don't I become a tourist in my own town? And I think maybe being small, I decided, you know, to be sympathetic towards the underdogs. And I saw the Hessle Roaders as being the underdogs, you know, from the nature, you know, the underdogs when you're tackling the, you know, fishing in the Arctic waters. The trawler owners, you know, they were pretty nasty towards them, ran it like a barren feudal system.
Really?
And then the attitudes as well towards them. So I decided to photograph the kids of Hessle Road. And, you know, because having travelled to Belfast and Derry, I found I couldn't really photograph the soldiers, and same in Israel. So I photographed the kids there. And so when I came back to Hull, I photographed the kids playing on the bomb buildings. And that was my first exhibition.
Brilliant. Really good, Alec. Okay. Really good stories. I think what we need now, Carrie, is a round of cup of teas for everyone.
Oh,
so
is
we
it my
can,
turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Off we go. Welcome back to the Culture Cafe. So, Alec, how did you enjoy Carrie's brew?
Oh, very nice. I could do with another one. Thank you very much. All this talking.
Definitely.
Everything in good time,
Oh,
Alec.
sorry. No.
So,
I like all my pleasures at once.
So, Carrie's pulling. So, Carrie, you was into travel at the beginning when we first opened. You wanted to go and see some cultures elsewhere. And have you ever been to Europe, Alec?
Oh, all the time. I'm a Europhile. I love Europe.
I do.
Especially with the referendum coming up, if I can mention that.
I love Europe too.
I'm an in man.
You're an in man, brilliant.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad we're getting political on the show. Definitely. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to pop over to Europe and have a little look at their capital of culture.
Wonderful.
Take a look.
In 2017, Hull will spend a year as the UK City of Culture. But do we really know what this is going to mean for the city? And most importantly, for the people of Hull.
I come to Belgium to discover what it's like to be a city of culture. Welcome to Mons, European Capital of Culture 2015.
The European Capital of Culture programme was set up in 1985 by the then Greek Minister of Culture, Melina Mercouri. One of the side effects has been the economic as well as cultural regeneration it brings to the recipient city.
As the year draws to a conclusion, the city is still revelling in great art and poetry, especially the story of this poet and his enforced stay in Mons.
Paul Verlaine began his literary career as a conventional poet, and as a conventional family man, all that was about to change.
Verlaine left his wife and son and took up with the fellow symbolist poet Rimbaud while they were staying in Brussels. He shot and wounded his lover in a drunken rage. As a result, he was imprisoned here in Mons for a year.
By all accounts, Verlaine's imprisonment was far from arduous. It was here that he began his second great volume of poetry and established himself as one of the greatest poets in the French language. I think it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty and talk to someone who's been instrumental in realising this year's cultural events. Marie Noble is the Assistant Director for Mons 2015. I asked her, why did Mons want to become capital of culture in the first place?
You have to get back to the year 2000. It was a strong will for the city to find a new project for the city. You know, it's a region that suffered a lot, high rate of unemployment. It was because of the closing of the mine coal industry. It was a city that lost pride, and the mayor, the whole city hall really wanted to find a project for the city towards 2015 or 2020.
I want to know if becoming capital of culture has made a real difference. It's put art on the streets, but has it put bread on the table? So, has being capital of culture made a difference to the businesses in Mons?
Absolutely, especially for small retailers and caterers. Everything eating and drinking related, excellent, excellent. We can say that most businesses have had a 30% increase in their profits during the cultural period. It's not true for all businesses. Clothing and some others haven't been affected.
The new museums and galleries built in Mons to coincide with 2015 cover all aspects of culture. At the other end of the cultural spectrum to the Paul Verlaine exhibition is this place. Poetry might not be to everyone's taste, but Mons has built a new museum dedicated to its oldest and most famous folk tradition, the Feast of Ducasse. So we've come here to the wonderfully named Musée du Doudou. At first, the Feast of Ducasse seems like a typical, staid but sincere religious festival, but there's a wild and intriguing undercurrent. I'm off to see a film about the Doudou later this evening. But before that, I've got an appointment with the new gallery space, one that's emerged as a direct result of being the capital of culture. Francois, so I asked Francois, what is Fabrique des Songes?
This is a place where people come to have a drink and work on their computers, but also it's a workshop, it's shared tools. The idea is to have a retail area and a place for artists to sell their work. It's a dream of everybody coming together to work and produce and sell in the same place. We started at the beginning of 2015 as a sort of community project. It's good for visibility. This is a place where tourists come, therefore it is a good place to get exposure, to show what we are doing here. And we're not just here for 2015, our project is to do something in the long term.
And finally, I've come to the Theatre Royal for the premiere of a film that promises to explain some of those strange sights that I saw in the Musée du Doudou. Florian Val is the director of this film, about a part of Mons culture that's both incidental and central to community life. I wanted to know about this rather strange custom that the film shows.
The Fête du Doudou is really important because we start to get involved and celebrate it at an early age. It's part of our identity. It's very difficult to live in Mons and not participate in one way or another. And it's a very particular fight because it's dangerous. I mean, we show solidarity, we take risks together, but also we make sure that the danger, which is always present, never really appears. And that's what the Montois call the miracle of the fight.
After a single day in Mons, I feel like I already know so much about the place and the people. In large part, I think it's due to the way the city has responded to being a capital of culture. It's kept me entertained with fine art and high culture, and it's told me about its past and its future and its unique character. There's a buzz about the place that I suspect wasn't there a year ago. I've been most impressed by the balance that's been achieved between throwing a party now and building a cultural future, between welcoming the best of the world and supporting local culture and artists.
So what has the European Capital of Culture given to Mons? Well, it's given it a chance to take back its future, and it's taken back its pride too. So cheers.
How beautiful does Mons look?
Yeah, and it was interesting to see the cultural similarities between Mons and Hull, really. So Mons was the capital of culture 2015. Alan, I believe you know something about European capitals of culture.
I do know a little about them, yes. Creighton Cultural Company, we're currently working in partnership with the European Capital of Culture for this year, which is San Sebastian, northern Spain, and in the same committee, in the same partnership, with the two European Capitals of Culture for 2017, same time as Hull's City of Culture. And that's Aarhus in Denmark and Paphos in Cyprus. And we're all doing a little project together, which is called the Inandat project. And it's a photography project. So we're managing it, and it'll launch at the festival that we do. You know, the photography festival?
Yeah, yes.
Hull International Photography Festival
brilliant.
in Hull 2017. It'll launch there and then it'll go to all the other European capitals of culture, because it's very new to us being City of Culture, but European capitals of culture, as you see with Mons, it's something that's been going on a long time. They've got a lot of experience of it and they've got loads to offer, so we're doing exchanges. So our photographers go there, their photographers come here.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah, have some fun together.
That's great.
And Alec, have you got any plans for 2017 here in Hull?
Well, all being well, it depends on funding, of course. You know, because you can't just do
money.
Money doesn't just come from nothing, does it? You know, as artists have to live somehow. You know, we have bills and things like this. But no, all being well, that side, because it's all right, City of Culture. But what I've always stressed after it was announced, it must become City of Our Culture. you know, sort of course, there's a lot of culture within Hull itself. You don't need to import it. And so what I want to do is the Hessel Roaders. I want to put them on the platform, and because that's what I've been doing for 42 years, and have an exhibition at Hull University and elsewhere, featuring the people of Hessel Road and the kids, the gypsies, the elderly, and on trawlers as well.
Yeah, it's very rich, the Hessel Road community, isn't it?
Oh, I think
and
so.
the Hessel Road, it's got a culture of its own, hasn't it?
A very dynamic, yes.
So
and I think because they live so close to death, that's why they have a zest for life.
Absolutely. Yes, great. Well, what about you, Carrie? What are you looking forward to with us having the City of Culture?
Well, I'm just looking forward to seeing what is going to be on the menu. And I'm going to get out there and see as much as possible, really.
Talking about food again?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, food again. Yeah.
Right.
No, the theatre, obviously the festivals, the outdoor festivals, the Freedom Festival, how that has developed as well, particularly over the last 2 or 3 years. Because if you actually look back at the first Freedom Festival, it was a lot different to how we have come to know it today. I mean, I believe Peter Andre was at the first festival. Not that I'm saying anything about Peter Andre, but it's just very different now. It showcases a lot more of Hull's acts and bands, and it's much more, it's much more cultural, diverse. Diverse.
Nice word. Yes, diverse.
Absolutely.
Well, it seems we've got a lot to look forward to. There's a lot coming up on the menu.
On the menu, to feast our eyes upon.
Just our eyes.
Just our eyes. Yeah, just our eyes.
And ears.
So we'd like to thank you, our guests today, for coming into the cafe and having a brew with us.
Thanks for all the tea.
Hey, you are welcome.
Yes, wonderful.
You are welcome anytime.
It's been lovely. Okay then, guys, so we've been the Culture Cafe talking about what is culture. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much.